Cosmere can be a confusing place.
From allomancy to surge binding, there's a lot to look out for.
We're your hosts and escorts to the realms. I'm Griff.
And I'm Alex.
And this is the Silverlight Guide to the Cosmere. Alright, so this episode we are discussing the various lights of Rosharan.
Yes, light weaving. No, I'm just kidding. Kidding. Not yet.
No, we'll get there. We'll get there in time.
But before light weaving, there was dark weaving. Dun, dun, dun!
Of course. Sitting at a loom in the darkness.
That's how the Unmade came to be.
Of course.
Because, of course, you're going to make a trash piece of whatever you're making.
Uh-huh.
So you have to unmake it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so odium, looming in the dark.
Found out that was a very unwise idea, but there was the nice side effect of the.
Is looming the?
I have
the
no
verb
idea,
to use a loom.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Because that brings a terrifying angle to the word looming.
I believe weaving is probably the term for using a loom because
I revolt against weaving. Looming is now the only option.
Okay, well. I'll have to change centuries of established vocabulary, but we'll do that.
Oh.
No, the various lights we are talking about are Stormlight, Lifelight, and Voidlight.
The storm, the void, and the life. The Holy Trinity of Rosharan.
You're not honestly wrong, though. I don't. It doesn't
actually
quite have. Yeah,
well, I'm incredibly wrong.
No. You're not wrong on it being a holy trinity in the strictest sense.
Sure.
It has absolutely no relation or comparison to the Trinity of Christianity because.
Okay, but are you sure? Because the gods and the thing that they're all like one but separate.
No, because they're not identical.
If they're infinite.
They're not infinite, though.
They're near infinite. They're infinitely
They can look
sliced.
into infinity. They are not infinity. They are distinctly finite.
I don't know.
If the power that they wield can be contained within a finite body, then they are finite.
So I'm going to have to do more research on that because I could probably argue that they're not. The spiritual realm, like...
Well, the spiritual realm itself is infinite.
Sure.
But the power that, say, Teravangian absorbed was a finite amount of power.
Or does he have access to Sliver of Infinity? I'm just saying.
See, I don't like that term, though.
I know you like. Yeah. We could define so that they're not infinite, but the word infinite is thrown around a lot. And I realize that that's like descriptive, not prescriptive. But...
Yeah, because the thing is that if we want to attest that Idonalcium is infinite, then we would have to attest that he is omniscient and therefore could not have been killed unless it was. I don't know. We get into problems of like what's the term for things being preordained. The Stoics liked it a lot.
I'm not sure.
Basically, it just means that like the future is already decided.
Right.
You can't do anything to change it. It's already planned.
The Calvinists.
I mean, yeah. Most evangelical Christians nowadays, they just put God's providence in place of a universal atheistic providence, which is what the Stoics believed in.
Sure.
They weren't Christian, obviously. They were Greek. They were Greek before Christianity was a thing.
Yes.
But
which reminds me of how one time a lady in my philosophy class asked if Socrates and Plato had read the Bible.
Well,
that is a legitimate thing that happened. So, on this episode, are the shards infinite? Just kidding.
No,
No,
that is
no.
a wholly different episode.
Yep. But
Anyway,
Stormlight Archive.
So,
Stormlight Archive. No, Stormlight the thing.
Just
the
Stormlight.
Archive.
Yeah, let's start with Stormlight. Then we can go on to the various other lights.
How is it stored, Griff?
Stored in gems.
It sure is stored in gems.
I believe actually all the lights are stored in gems. Well, arguably.
Yeah.
Is Lifelight stored in gems?
I think that's what's in the fabrials that powers the tower's functions.
I thought that was Tower Light.
We're talking about Stormlight, Voidlight, Lifelight, and Towerlight on this episode.
Well, and we should probably mention
Warlight, and
we don't, I think, have a name for Voidlight and Lifelight.
No,
but not it would yet. Be
Overgrowth Light.
Mushroom Light.
It would be
Life that grows in darkness.
Let's see.
Cave Light.
Kudzu Light, the vine that's taking over massive parts of the world.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Or Blackberry Light. Those are pretty bad too. Wait,
you mean blackberry bushes?
Yeah, so we take add light to it.
Right. No, so blackberry bushes are a problem?
Yeah, no, they're very thorny. They're difficult to remove.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, the only good thing is that they provide us with blackberries.
Right, of course.
Which is nice.
Anyway, regardless, Stormlight.
Yes.
So Stormlight comes from arguably, well, okay, so there's a few ways to get Stormlight.
Okay.
The initial way we know is through the Stormfather.
Yep.
Stormfather? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Storm Daddy.
No, that's Dalinar.
That is Dalinar, yeah.
No, the Stormfather, which is a massive, extremely powerful spren.
Yep.
Contained in the Everstorm. No.
Nope.
Not Everstorm.
Nope.
What do they call it?
High Storm.
High Storm, thank you.
Well, yeah, okay. Is he contained or is he the High Storm?
I would say he's not.
If you have thoughts, email us at guidetothecosmere@gmail.com.
It could be debated either way. Because the visions that we see the Stormfather give Dalinar make me think that the Stormfather is in the storm, not the storm.
Sure. And the Stormfather does appear alongside both spoilers for the Knights of Wind and Truth, does appear in front of Gavilar as shimmering, and also appears with Dalinar in whichever book.
Yeah, so I would say that but regardless, I would also say that it seems to indicate that the crystals are imbued with Stormlight by the Stormfather specifically. Because I believe we find out that Kaladin's what are they called? What are the little chips? The currency.
Spheres.
Spheres, yes. We see that his spheres aren't restored with Stormlight until the Stormfather comes around. Like, I don't think if somehow the Stormfather was not contained in the High Storm, I don't think the spheres would be recharged.
But ultimately, he is somehow bringing the energy in from the spiritual realm.
Yes, which makes sense because then we have the second way which you can get Stormlight, which is honors perpendicularity, which Dalinar can activate at will, arguably.
Arguably.
I mean, he can do it at will. I think it does tax him. It's got a
cooldown of some sort. Yeah.
So he doesn't keep it open forever, nor can he do it consistently without it taxing him. But that is another way, and we found that that's a much stronger way because it provides consistent, constant storm light
Yes.
while it is open.
Yes. And the energy that the Stormfather and Dalinar bring in is investiture.
It's investiture. It's just Roshar's version of investiture.
Right. So,
although that brings up an interesting question.
Okay.
Which is, so we know that perpendicularities are typically, in every other sense of the word, is a bridge between the material plane and the cognitive realm.
Yes.
However, Honor's perpendicularity seems to bridge all three. It seems to bridge the material, the cognitive, and the spiritual realm.
Okay.
Which I find interesting, because we do not see any other perpendicularity do that.
That's true.
So I'm curious if there's something about... I'm curious if we're going to get an explanation of why his perpendicularity acts differently than every other established perpendicularity.
I have a hypothesis.
Okay.
And that hypothesis is based on the fact that of the chapter in Rhythm of War, Bondsmith Unchained, where the Stormfather tells Storm Daddy, I'm sorry, I can't, tells Dalinar that Honor was actively limiting the abilities of the Bondsmiths. That makes me believe that it's possible the other shards are limiting the ability of the perpendicularity.
Oh, okay.
So they all have the ability.
Right. They just choose not to.
If a human goes into the spiritual realm...
We've only seen it done twice.
They've gone into it?
Well, okay, so Dalinar has, because of the perpendicularity.
He's seen it.
He's seen it, and he's like stepped into it, because when he was talking with what's his name, one of the other words are going to escape me because it's been a while since I've read. The 12 original knights.
The 10 heralds?
The 10 heralds, yeah.
Okay.
Not 12, the 10 heralds. He's talking with one of the heralds in...
Ishi.
Yeah, he's talking with
Ishtar?
Ishi.
No. Ishtar?
No, not Ishtar. That's a real-world deity.
Well, I mean, obviously, based on the name there. Right, he's talking with him, and then he pulls... Damn, Darwin. Oh, my goodness. Darwin, come here. Darwin, come here. Come here. Come here, you big lump. Come on. You'll get up somehow. I'll do it for you. Okay. Here we go. Don't scream at me. Thank you. Okay. Apologies.
Sorry, we had dog-related issues.
Yep.
However, when he's talking with the herald, they're in a plane of like pure white.
Yeah, the light coming.
Yeah, but that's... I don't know.
Ishtar,
okay.
Okay, I knew I got it.
And then we know that Kelsiar has seen the spiritual realm.
Yeah, when he was the shard.
Well, no.
When he held the power of preservation?
No, not when he held the power of preservation. This was when preservation was still active. He asks preservation, he like grabs preservation or something, and he sees it, and then he asks preservation to show it to him again, which is how he sets up the plan for stuff.
Sure. I'd hazard a guess that just having humans in the spiritual realm would probably not be good for the human or for whatever's in the spiritual realm.
No, probably not.
So Dalinar can grab it.
Right.
He put his hands through the three realms.
Yep.
Was like, boom.
And brought it together, which is how he brings in the constant stormlight. Yes. But I actually understand why the other shards would want to limit that capability, because I think humans running rampant in the spiritual realm would be a bad time for everyone.
So What is the third way that you can get Stormlight?
I don't know. What is the third way?
For an unexplained reason, when Windrunners swear an oath, they burst with Stormlight.
Do they?
They do.
Oh, I do not remember this.
That is how Kaladin... well, not during the first time he swears the second ideal.
Right.
Even though I believe it mentions frost and stuff. But then he lands and he sucks the Stormlight from the Parshendi beards. But the third ideal, when he's fighting Moash, he gets imbued with Stormlight. Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Which is what gives him enough Stormlight to go then out to the Shattered Plains and get there, and then Teft and everybody are like, "Lay down your spheres," and then he fights Seth, and it's really cool.
Okay, so there you go. That too.
Yep.
I wonder if that has anything to do with their resonance, with their ability to have more squires. We'll talk about that later.
Or it could be because they swear to honor, or they bond with honor spread.
Could be.
Yep. So
could be. Yeah.
We may never know.
But anyway, those are the three ways. Now, Stormlight.
Yes.
Has incredible restorative properties.
It sure does. If you're Knight Radiant.
Yes, if you are Knight Radiant. Yes, this is true. If you are able to absorb Stormlight. Then it pretty much keeps you alive in any scenario. I think they actually talk about not even needing to breathe if you have Stormlight in your system.
If your spine is severed with a shard, you die.
True, yes.
Beyond that, physical, if you have enough Stormlight, you're probably going to be fine.
Yeah.
Renarin gets crushed.
And comes back fine. Yeah. And I mean, Kaladin suffers multiple injuries of pretty much any kind and comes out of it just fine. So.
And then.
Stormlight can even revive a dead limb from a shard blade.
That's true.
So.
Yep. And then Stormlight also leaves the body relatively quick.
Yes.
As a white vapor.
Yes, as a white vapor. Less so if you're holding your breath.
Yep.
But it still does leak out.
Sure.
And
then I think lastly, it's used to power the surges of the Knights Radiant.
Yes.
So it is. That's its purpose in this book. Or that's a consequence of it. I don't know. However you want to put it.
Yeah.
Do authors write the story, or do they just discover it?
Good question. For probably our other podcast.
Yep.
All right, so Lifelight.
Lifelight repair, Lifelight replace.
God. Lifelight is, interestingly enough, I think actually the one we know the least about.
Yep.
Because we know that Rin has... Lift, thank you.
You're welcome.
Lift has access to it. Is the only Knights Radiant we know that does, actually.
Yes.
So she can access Lifelight through eating food.
Yes, so probably organic material.
Yeah, pretty much.
Digested, so it's like eating metal and then burning it.
Yes.
In a sense.
In a sense. Although she doesn't seem to need to digest it very long, because when she grabs a roll or something in her short story, she only really needs to swallow it, and like almost immediately she gains access to Lifelight.
Yeah, so something, I mean, we could get into the biochemistry here if we wanted. But I don't.
No, I don't think it's necessary. I don't think Brandon has.
If you would like us to do an interlude on it, email us at guidetothecosmere@gmail.com, or leave us a voice message at our Anchor website.
Yes.
It should be in the show notes as well. But
it seems to be able to power surges the same way that Stormlight does.
Yes.
Although it seems to do it in a slightly different way, because Lift still has access to her healing capabilities even when the towers
Yes.
Like
That's
that whole situation is going on, and none of the other Knights Radiant have access to their abilities.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to knowing more about that.
Yeah.
And
so am I.
Yeah. So Void Light is the third big one.
Void Light, yes, is the third big one.
Void Light does not disappear that rapidly.
No. Although it still seems to be able to be stored in crystals.
Yes. Yeah. It's stored in gem hearts.
Yeah. That Stormlight is.
Yeah. So to contrast the High Storm, we have the Everstorm.
Yes, which is going in the opposite direction.
Yep. And it's red and lightning and so on, and it replenishes Void Light.
Yes, it does. And this was what seems to be powering the Returned.
Yes.
And their capability of taking over another host if they're...
Not the Returned, the Fused.
Oh, the Fused, thank you. That's what I meant. Yes, the Fused. And it also seems to be the gateway that they use to take over another body if the one that they are inhabiting is killed.
Yes, something like that. Wait, Void Light does that?
No, the Storm, not the Everstorm.
Yes. So I think it allows the Void Spren to come through, and then the extra energy, something like that.
Right.
We'll find out more at some point, probably.
I'm sure. So Void Light is what is powering the Fused, and I think any of the... Do we have a term for the singers that are serving Odium? Are they just still called the Singers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
figured. I couldn't remember if they came up with another name for them.
I thought all of them that were serving Odium turned into the Fused. Like there were none of the Singers left.
No. Some of them are fused, but there's still
war forms.
There are still definitely Parshendi that are serving Odium that do not have a fused Spren in their gem heart.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think they're still just called the Singers.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, regardless, that I don't know if that's powering them or if it's only specifically powering the fused.
It's definitely just powering the fused surges. And Fabrials and whatnot.
Right.
I don't believe... No, it doesn't. Nah, because they have different Spren in their gem hearts for what form they change into.
Right. Now, here's an interesting question.
Okay.
It's interesting to me that Renarin's abilities are still powered by Stormlight.
Mm-hmm. Considering
he has one of the mutated Spren.
Has he had the opportunity yet to try Void Light? I
don't know. It's not so much. I'm not saying that he doesn't have access to Void Light.
Yeah.
I'm just interested that he does have access to Stormlight, and that still can power his abilities, even though he has a mutated Spren.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying he can't use Void Light. He very well may be able to, but we do know for a fact that he can use Stormlight. So
yeah, maybe that's more intrinsic in the Nile bond.
Yeah, that could be.
And then the extra bit of it being touched by an unmade is kind of like an extra layer to the bond instead of wholly changing it. Because there's still an opportunity there. Somebody asked a really good question, and not at the convention or anything we've seen, but somebody asked, since all of the Spren are essentially children of honor and cultivation, except cultivation Spren and honor Spren.
Right.
And something, they get access to 2 surges. Does a Spren touched by the unmade then give access to 3 surges?
Quite possibly.
Right?
Hard to say, and we probably won't know for a while.
Yeah. Or does it just give the future sight? Or does it give extra abilities that aren't surges?
Here's the thing.
Okay.
We know that honor and cultivation Spren are children of just one.
Yes.
they still have access to 2 surges.
Although one of them is the false one, which we'll talk about. Odium calls adhesion a false surge.
Really?
Yep.
Does cultivation give access to adhesion?
No.
So, still 2 surges.
Yes.
From a single source.
And we'll go more into this in the other one. If one of those is the healing, then cultivation is doing cultivation, and it could be a different type. I could keep, arguing.
Right?
For
yeah.
no reason.
There's our. I will say that I do find it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's. I think it's something we could try to tackle in our surges.
I think so. I mean, we'll have to leave it for that episode, but yeah. All right. So Towerlight.
Towerlight. The combination
of honor or of Stormlight and
Lifelight.
It is made, I think, exclusively by the sibling.
Yeah.
Who is
Navani. Yes. Yep. And Navani.
Yeah. Well, yes.
Yeah.
Because she is bonded to the
sibling.
The sibling. The sibling is a child, quote unquote.
So it did strike me that the sibling was an excellent choice for a truly androgynous offspring.
Yes.
Yeah.
A child of cultivation and honor that lives within Uthiru.
Urithiru.
Yes.
Iluthiru.
Yeah, Urithiru, and powers it.
Yes.
Because when the Knights Radiant get there, they find out that, it used to have all these capabilities and it could grow food and things like that, and they can't figure out why or what was powering it. And then they find out that it was the sibling with Towerlight.
Yep.
Which is a mix of, as I said, Stormlight and Lifelight. Also can be made via the resonance of the two being mixed.
Like when you have the pure tones sung at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Into a
crystal.
Into a gem.
Yeah.
That has had its light taken out, and then you have to have intention.
Right.
And so on. And yeah, and then so that's really all we know about that, which is probably more to see in the next book.
Although, I think we're going to get a lot about Towerlight in the 5th book.
If at the end of the 5th book it launches into space like Trust of the Emerald Sea, I'm going to revolt.
I think I will too.
Okay.
So
good to know.
Yes.
Now at the end of the 10th book, if it does it,
that's fine.
That's probably fine.
Yeah, but no, but the 5th, no.
I'll take Uathilu on Scadrial.
Ooh, that would be an interesting situation.
It lands. They send out the Sword of Harmony to destroy it.
God,
You think those are big swords? Look at Wax.
That should be an episode, by the way, that we do, which is
what happens if Urithiru lands on other planets?
No. Specifically, I think it would be fun for us to rank what we view as the power levels of the different investitures.
Oh yes,
and how they would be.
Yes,
how effective they would be against each other.
I agree. That would be great fun. But the last combo
is Warlight, which we do see, and we only get passing experience with it.
Yep.
Because we know it's a combination of Voidlight and Stormlight.
Yes.
And we know the pure tones are a mix of the chaoticness of Odium's tones and steady beat of honors.
Yeah. So when you can combine honor and self-loathing, you get war, right?
Yeah.
In some way.
And so it'll be interesting to see what the mixed light, what effect the mixed light has. Yeah. Like whether it's war light or tower light or whatever they end up calling the mix of life light and void light, if they end up dealing with that at all.
It's right on the tip of my tongue. Hold on. Nope, I'm gonna have to.
Decay light?
That is. There's got to be some word for overgrowth, or something.
Verdant light, maybe.
He's already got the verdant with the aethers, so I doubt he would.
Yeah, well, I mean, verdant just means green, so
yeah. Choke?
I don't think so.
No. Ravage?
Nah, a little broad.
Yeah.
I like Decay Light.
Decay Light is good. Well, but then I was thinking, like, there's several good ones. But, like, single syllable for the first...
What's the term for animals that feed on...
Decomposers?
No, carrion.
Oh.
But that's not single syllable.
Crow light.
I mean, maybe.
I
don't know.
We'll find out eventually.
Anyway, yeah. It'll be interesting to see what effect they have, because since they have both lights in them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, there's also kind of a fourth type of light. Well, technically 6. Or 3 total other lights, which are the anti-lights.
Oh.
Which are made using the same process, but with different intent.
Yes, and I was just listening to our episode, is it pronounced anti-investiture or anti-investiture? And I think we do cover that well enough there.
Yeah.
That
fair.
we should point them to that.
Yes.
And wrap up, because time is fleeting, life is short.
Fair.
Let's do the time warp again.
So I suppose that is our episode on purely the investiture of Roshar.
Yes.
Not the abilities, not anything like that. We'll cover that next episode.
This is the prelude for the magic system.
Yes, but we thought that it was important to cover the lights and how they functioned.
Cover the lights, throw us into darkness.
Yes, because Roshar is probably actually even more than I think Scadrial, the most in-depth look we have gotten a look at, of an investiture system and the accompanying abilities. So,
well, when the books are 50 something hours long audio.
Well, the first book is over 1,000 pages and they get longer.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the first book is, I believe, 45 hours.
Yep, 45, and then Oathbringer was 57 or something like that.
Yeah, it was a ridiculous amount of, which was good, honestly, for when I was listening to it. But
yeah,
but yeah, we felt it was important to kind of get a foundation of the lights.
That's right.
And yeah, I suppose that's it.
That's it.
So
Here,
so,
let's switch it up. Let's switch it up. Don't panic, World Hoppers.
Life before death, strength before weakness, and soda before destination.
That's fair.
Or no, journey before soda.
Journey before soda. Yep.
The music you hear is Part 3, The Spirit, from Zavadilla's The Music of Elantris, produced by B-Roll Records. Available now on Apple Music, Spotify, and most music providers.
If you like what you hear and you want others to hear it as well, please leave a rate and review. It really helps us get more listeners.